Good morning. It's a beautiful Monday morning reaching you from the nation's capital in Abuja. I am Mercy Babadzei. Welcome to Outnumbered. And now you know how we do it on Outnumbered. I am not alone. I will be joined by the beautiful lady to my right and the gentleman to my left. Let them introduce themselves.
Good morning, viewers. I am Antonia Nwokolo. You're welcome to the program.
My name is Ramsey Enoch. Good morning, Mercy. Good morning.
Good
morning,
morning,
Ramsey.
Ramsey. Good morning, Tonya. How are you?
Very well,
You
thank
guys
you.
look radiant. It looks like you guys had a splendid weekend.
It's obvious.
It's showing from Ramsey's tie, actually.
Yes. You know, Ramsey attended a party over the weekend.
And
he had so much fun.
He had so much fun.
I actually had so much fun, and I was glad I actually made it for that wedding.
Now you
because
are even
I was
rubbing it
supposed
in
to
our
be the
face.
MC of that wedding.
Oh, wow.
And I
Interesting.
anchored that wedding. I won't tell you what came with it.
Oh, okay. He will tell us off
He will
camera.
tell us off camera.
Off
Yes,
cam, yeah.
we believe that. All right, of yours at home, let's get into today's program proper, and we'll be starting today with the nation's newspaper. The biggest story is screaming for attention says economy. Economy is the lead story. Experts predict media drop in prices. Experts predict media drop in prices. It's safe to say congratulations to Nigerians in advance, of course. Blame insecurity, interest rates, middlemen, sabotage for prevailing high prices. Lagos threatens to fine short supermarkets without product price tags. I think that is a good one. Naira appreciation, we are posting heavy losses. BDCs cry out. Well, that story is continued on page 4 of the nation's newspaper. And now to more stories. Impeachment. Ubombe, forgive my pronunciation, tips to replace Shaibu as Edo deputy governor. That's on page 37 of the nation's newspaper this morning. Tariff, that's the kicker of the next story. The writer says, Discos get April 11 deadline to refund customers. I am one person that is excited over this because, I mean, look at how much electricity tariff was last week. But then we'll talk about that later. That's on page 7 of the nation's newspaper. Now, let's take two more stories. Truck crushes two brothers to death in Ondo. That's a sad one there. And now to the one story about PDP. Atiku Wike forces battle for control ahead neck meeting. Party holds World Congress for Ondo governorship election tomorrow. Now to inaugurate Olubada in council decides monarch's fate. Skimming between Ladoja. Others take center stage. And that is all I'll take for the nation. Over to Antonia.
All right, thank you, Mercy. On the Daily Trust newspaper, Atiku tackles Tinubu over Lagos Calabar Highway project. That story is on page 24. Now, the next headline will be saying CBN sacks another 40 staff. The details of that is on page 19. And this is coming, sack letters was released on Friday. The CBN is currently undergoing restructuring. And most of the 40 staff that were sacked were from the Development Finance Department. And laying off staff is part of his ways. The CBN is restructuring.
Okay.
Now, the next headline we'll be looking at, Israel pulls troops out of southern Gaza. Now, the details of that is on page 24. Since October 7, there's been a war in Gaza, and we've been seeing the news every day. There's always something, either bombing or Palestinians, Israelis being killed. So it's so good to see that Israel has pulled troops out of southern Gaza. Now, the next headline we'll be looking at is actually the big story. Nigerians in UAE stranded over work permit, visa ban. We have 3 riders to that headline. Lose over 200 jobs, face discrimination. Then the next one says they should return home to build Nigeria. This is coming from some analysts. They should return home, yes.
They prefer to roam
and the next one says discussions ongoing to resolve issues. And this is coming from the minister's aide. So some Nigerians living in Dubai have, because of the strained relationship between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates is also rubbing off on Nigerians living over there. So you see that they are not granted work permits. Even those that were already working lose their jobs, and they face discrimination on a day-to-day basis. Now some analysts are saying Nigerians over there should come back to Nigeria to build their country. Now let's look at this Japa syndrome very well. If Nigeria, if our economy is thriving, if our economy is viable, will people go out to look for jobs out of
there.
Nigeria.
And talking about the discrimination part, because if you are in your own fatherland, I mean, all of this would not be happening. And then
Absolutely.
not just about the job or work permits. You see that Nigerians face everyday discrimination in whatever countries they find themselves, because of course we have the hustling spirit. When Nigeria gets anywhere in the world, you see that we are always at the forefront, be it education, be it jobs, be it entrepreneurship. You see that Nigerians are always at the forefront. So now, what is the federal government doing, or what's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs doing to actually curb all of this? And there's something they say that the way that you treat your own is the way people will treat them for you. And if Nigerians, if we as Nigerians, we're not even, or the federal government, they're not treating we citizens properly, how do you expect people from other countries to treat your own citizens?
Ramsey, do you share do you have a
Well,
contrary
I think
opinion?
even people are saying they should come back home. They won't come back.
Come back to
What
do
are they
what?
falling back to? What do they have back at home? How is the economy? Do you think if they come back, it's going to be better than staying there? Even though they are stranded, they will prefer to stay on the street. Someone once
They'll
told
rather
me
do menial
that
jobs there.
This is just United Arab Emirates. We're not talking about other countries yet. Nigerians are going through so much, but they can't come back home because the place is not even receptive. You know, because Nigerians who are here are finding it very hot. Even as we speak, people are doing so many things so that they can jack out of this country, irrespective of what comes with it.
All right, let's look at the next headline. Military neutralizes terrorists who killed soldiers in Borno, and that you can find on page 3. And the next one says, media bodies, CSOs demand investigation into editors' detention, and that story is on page 3. So, an editor of the First News newspaper, speaking of Mr. Segun Olatunji, he was unlawfully arrested and also detained. And now media bodies, CSOs, a lot of civil society organizations are calling for investigation because over the years, the press has faced unlawful detention, killings, torturing, just being the watchdog of the society, carrying out your duty as a journalist. And thank God that the media bodies are calling for investigation, because if this is swept under the carpet, then there will be no freedom of the press. The press will no longer be objective. Now, the final headline will be taken from the Daily Trust newspaper. Sultan asks Muslims to look out for Shawwal moon today. And that will be the size of the headlines from the Daily Trust newspaper. Over to you, Ramsey.
Well, thank you very much, Antonia, for those headlines. Let's quickly look at the Punch newspaper this morning. Above the header on page 35 of the Punch newspaper, we'll have this headline, which says, OPS takes power tariff hikes protest to Tinubu. That's the president. And we're talking about Lagosians here. They've taken the protest to Tinubu himself. I think Tinubu is back home. Then on page 35 of the Punch newspaper, 2.3 billion naira cement power project transformers. Substations arrive Nigeria. Then still above the header, dollar video, release report of Ganduje's probe, Kano tells EFCC. You know, the Gandola thing. Well, let's see how that is going to end. And that takes us to the big story on the Punch newspaper this morning. And the big story says, a federal government plans of 3 national ID cards for 104 million Nigerians, June. Okay, I take that again. Federal government plans 3 national ID cards for 104 million Nigerians in June. 2 riders to that story. NIMSI awaits presidential approval for May launch, says procurement will be seamless. I don't know how seamless that is going to be, because I just had a flash of what people go through to get
their NIN. How much more? 3 ID cards.
3 ID cards. Well, don't worry. We'll talk about that. Then the second rider to that story says Nigerians to get different e-cards for banking, social intervention, ECOWAS activities. All right. Those are the riders to the big story. And moving away from there, Salah, federal government declares Tuesday, Wednesday holiday as Tinubu arrives Lagos. I told you Tinubu is in Lagos, so that protest is actually timely. So federal government have declared Tuesday and Wednesday holidays as Tinubu arrives Lagos. Details of that can get on page 9 of the Punch newspaper. Relocation. Lagos terminates multi-billion naira Cantagua market contract. Oh, Cantagua. I don't know if any of you know
I used to hear lots
that
about that
market
market.
in
yes.
Lagos. Well, details of that you can get on page 38. A female London Lagos solo driver gets heroic welcome. And finally, from here, India-bound traffickers vomit excrete 80 cocaine wraps in Lagos airport. I thought,
80.
80.
That's a lot.
80. Wow. India-bound trafficker vomits excretes 80 cocaine wraps in Lagos airport.
How did?
How did
I have too many questions, honestly. Too many
80. We're
questions.
talking about 80.
Because how did you swallow
Cocaine.
it? Were you cut open to put it inside?
inside?
And I feel like in Nigeria, I feel like they take these things with levity. There's no such strong rule. Because I know that there are some Asian countries that if you try this,
You already know what's
you're
coming with
dead.
it. So you
It's
don't
not a
even
matter
try.
of sentencing you to say, oh, you're facing the law, you're going to court. No, it's a case of they catch you, you go to firing squad or they hang you and you die. That's it. 80 is a lot, I mean.
Yeah, it is a
Now
lot.
imagine you didn't even
We're
even
talking
think about the
80
danger.
wraps.
The danger
what
it does
if
to
it
your
busted?
body.
Yeah.
No, when it comes to money, some people can go to any extent.
It's obvious.
They can do anything. 80, we're talking about 80 wraps of cocaine here.
Like I'm about to start doing some arithmetic, like to start counting 1 to 80, but then.
Let's leave
All
it
right.
at that.
Well, that's going to be the last on the Punch newspaper this morning. Over to you, Mercy.
All right, thank you, Ramsey. Now let's take our final paper for today, which is The Guardian. The Guardian lead story here says road to 500 billion naira recapitalization. And right under that, we have bank owners lobby seek adjustment in share capital composition. I take that story again. Bank owners lobby seek adjustment in share capital composition. To find more details on that, it's a page 6 read on The Guardian. Naira's defense debt servicing GOP 1.4 trillion as foreign reserves deep. That's a news page 4 of The Guardian. And now to more stories. Gavi Alliance initiates $1 billion program to boost vaccine production in Africa. We do hope that works perfectly. And that's a news page 4. Now, let me quickly take this electricity tariff hike. That's the kicker of that story. FCCPC, others pressure federal government to revert decision. I feel the main problem we have with electricity tariff in Nigeria is the fact that we do not have bodies that actually regulate most of these things. Because now, take for instance, when fuel subsidy was removed, there's supposed to be actually a governing body or less a council that would sit down. And I remember when Goodluck Jonathan said he wanted to remove subsidy, these were the same people that actually went on the streets to say, no, this was not possible. You didn't give people anything to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy. Now electricity tariff has happened, nothing to cushion the effect also. And then this was implemented in less than 24 hours.
24 hours.
24 hours. Because, I mean, we talked about it on Wednesday. By Thursday morning, everything had already skyrocketed. Well, to find more details on that is on news page 6 of The Guardian. Now, I'm focused on fixing Nigeria's problems, not Labour Party's internal crisis, says Obi. Well, whether he likes it or not, he still needs to fix the house it's coming from before it gets to the public. And that's on news page 28 of The Guardian. And now, let's take 2 more stories on The Guardian. Yusuf knocks Ganduje over criticism of administration. That's on news page 27. APC leaders alert plots to disrupt Ondo primaries. APC leaders alert plot to disrupt Ondo primaries. Well, that is all we'll take for The Guardian. Now, after the break, we'll be talking about federal government, talking about Nigerians getting 3 more national identity cards. Well, I'm sure you want to stay tuned to this after the break.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleke TV. Visit our website at www.oweleke.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleke TV, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back. You're still on Outnumbered, reaching you from the nation's capital in Abuja. Now we'll be analyzing one of the headlines from the Punch. I beg your pardon. Federal government plans 3 national ID cards for 104 million Nigerians in June. Now, NIMC awaits presidential approval for May launch, says procurement will be seamless. That is what they always say, because I like to take us back, or let me say flashback to when NIN was a thing in Nigeria. Well, maybe I was part of the lucky ones that had it seamless, because I got to know about it. I mean, a few years before the old Nigerians got to know about it. And maybe that's because, I have parents that work with the Civil Service Commission. So it was easier for them to just say, okay, walk into this place and just sort yourself out and get it done. But then how much more Nigerians that do not know anything about it? Now, why put Nigerians through all of this drama? I remember a few months back, not even a few months, it was just last month here, where they said you have to link your NIN with your bank. If it was possible for them to even say link your name to your shoe, I'm sure they would have done it. What was
to your house address?
Yes, to your house address. So I'm not going to use our big English. I'm going to use our layman this thing. What was the reason? Why put Nigerians through so much drama, telling them to link their NIN with their bank account, and now you are coming. You are
coming up with a different card for banking.
Card for banking is giving clueless, if you ask me. But then I'd like to get Antonia's opinion before we move forward this morning.
Honestly, Mercy, at this point, I just think these organizations, they have a big box,
yeah,
where they have different things to stress Nigerians.
So
when they bring out
Nigerians,
okay, today, let's do this. Tomorrow, let's do this.
Nigerians, people, you look like you have peace of mind.
Yeah, you have so much peace, so let's move.
They are not happy when they see Nigerians.
Nigerians smile.
Now let's wait. That's on a lighter note. Let's be serious. Let's look at it critically.
I'm trying so hard to be serious, because
let's look at it critically. Okay. You're planning 3 national ID cards. First of all, since I did my NIN till now, I don't have the hard copy national ID card. I'm still making use of the slip. And that's like how many years ago? More than 5 years.
Same here.
You're 5 years. I did mine
now I'm saying
2015.
I can't remember the exact, but it's over 5 years since I did that. And I still do not have. Now, you're saying the procurement will be seamless. We did not have a seamless procurement of the NIN. How are you guaranteeing us that all of this? So what was the purpose of linking our NIN to our bank account? What's the purpose of the BVN? If we'll also be needing different e-cards for banking.
You are saying purpose. Yeah, maybe they are speaking too much English.
Okay, what's the reason?
What was the reason? They need to let's be
clear.
Why?
Because now you're also saying social intervention.
Social intervention, and then they're saying that
ECOWAS activities. So what is our international passport for? What is our international passport for? If we would need a means of identification if we are going to other West African countries. Is that international passport not supposed to cover for everything? If it's okay if we have the NIN or the national ID card for activities within Nigeria, then the international passport ought to cut across that. And since we've linked our BVN to our account, then all of this, we don't need 3 cards.
Because now, if they bring the e-cards for banking, I bet you still have to link
it to your bank account, your bank
not
card.
just your bank account. You have to link it with your SIM card. Remember that some SIM cards were blocked in Nigeria because you didn't link your NIN to your SIM card. Now, social intervention, that means you probably go to one office again, maybe Minister of Ministry of Humanitarian, one thing. I don't know what they will say. Now, ECOWAS activities. Remember, when you have your international passport, there is somewhere that it is written. That is why I said it's giving clueless. It's given we do not know what we are doing.
I think what these people are trying to do in SS is, I feel they just want to put money in somebody's pocket. Maybe they are using this to settle someone. Because this is aimless to me. Maybe they just, like you said, they just get into the box, bring something out.
Let's pepper Nigerians.
Let's use this one to settle this person. You understand? And okay, somebody is going to eat from this. Somebody is going to be given this contract.
Definitely.
Yes.
Somebody is going to import the plastic.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to bring the ink.
And then they will probably tell you they need another office. Apart from even that name. Because now we don't know whether this falls under the NIMC. Okay,
no, they said NIMC. Yes.
For main launch.
NIMC is going to have more branches because at the end of the day, they will tell you the staff on ground
cannot serve.
Exactly.
You understand? Okay. See, there are things that are priority compared to this.
I like the fact that you mentioned that, because let's look at it, whether we like it or not, we have the disadvantages and advantages. Maybe to create more job opportunities for Nigerians. But we even know that getting jobs in Nigeria, you have to know someone that knows someone that knows somebody.
You have to have long legs.
Long legs.
You need to know one director because slots are being shared. these
can
days.
imagine.
We do not have e-passports yet. We are talking about e-cards. For
How
Ghana.
about
E-card.
let's
How does
not
that
even
work?
go into the naira.
And now let's make a list of the number of ID cards we have. We have the international passport.
That's one.
We have the NIN.
That's two.
We have voters card.
That's
we have
three.
driver's license.
That's
now
four.
add 3 to it.
Add
7.
three. How will you be carrying it?
So much for being a
Driver's
much for
Nigerian.
being a
license too can be used.
When you don't have dual citizenship.
I don't
So
know.
much for being a
So
Nigerian.
much for being a
This is a
Nigerian.
misplaced priority
Yeah,
for
misplaced,
me. It's a
exactly. I
misplaced
was going to
priority.
say that.
What Nigerians are going through right now, it's enough.
Hmm.
This is going to come in form of a burden. You know how people queue. You know Nigeria now. They like seeing people suffer.
Ramsey, you know,
When they were saying link your NIN
To
with
your
your bank
SIM.
account. If you
And
go,
it's
they
the
put
fact that-
canopies in the bank.
Bank, they
And
You
give
come,
you
you
numbers.
show up, They
Yeah.
give you number,
They
you
give
go
you
and come
numbers.
back.
That's
Days.
even that's
Some
even
people
far-fetched.
couldn't even do it until
Until-
dates,
mhm.
as we speak. And you're bringing up this one again.
And I
So,
bet you have to link it with your
You have to
banks.
link it.
no, definitely.
And before you know, that man somewhere who is struggling to make his business work will be put through all this
All
stress.
this drama.
And all these things, in a way, go back to affect our economy that we are struggling to bring up.
Because whether we like it or not, money is going to be, or funds will be channeled into, of course.
And
this
then
and
you
that.
now have issues of body. They would ask all of these agents, maybe the NIMC or whatever committee they would want to
Committee they
set
will-
up from the NIMC to bring their budgets.
Budget.
How much would it cost to get this?
Was
3
that
ID
included
cards?
in the
Do you understand?
2024 budget?
And then
to start with?
those people that are very good at padding budgets will also pad
Pad
theirs.
their own.
No, if it is padding, you can't take that
All
away.
right,
Somebody
that's-
must eat from there.
That's definitely a lot now. But we do hope and we implore that let's major on the major and minor on the minor at this point. Because given what is going on with Nigeria's economy, I feel like we need to first sort that. There are some people that do not even have their names yet. Why bring out 3 more? For what? What do we need it for? But then this is where we wrap it up for today for our number. Thank you to Tony and thank you to Ramsey for doing perfect analysis to this story. I remain Miss Babate. See you same time, same station tomorrow. Bye.